What's up, Multiverse? Dr. Dave here. Welcome to the Geek Lounge. I hope you're all having a fabulous weekend so far. So I've actually been busy the last few weeks. I had a couple of cons I attended at the beginning of December, then I got a little bit sick from those cons, so I had a lot of catching up to do, both here on the channel and off the channel, life, work, etc, etc. So I have been negating my Funko Pop parcels. But we are going to negate them no more, because today and tomorrow's videos are me catching up with my Funko Pop parcels. Now tomorrow's going to be a mix of like Star Wars, Avatar: The Last Airbender, a few other things mixed in, whereas today is all about anime. And let's delay no further getting into these guys. First up, we have the Funko Shop exclusive Flocked, Chase, Karara and Shippo from Inuyasha. And now if any of you guys have been watching the last month or so, you will have seen me start to pick up some of these Inuyasha Funko Pops. And yeah, I still haven't watched the show yet. Funnily enough, I decided to watch a different show. Like, I wanted to watch an older school anime, but I decided to go even older than Inuyasha, and I actually started watching Yu Yu Hakusho, which is so weird because the live action adaptation on Netflix has just dropped. I had no knowledge of that. I just kind of wanted to watch something older, and I actually picked Yu Yu Hakusho just because I'm such a huge fan of Hunter x Hunter, and I know it was the creator's kind of first work, so I went with that. I think I'm like 16, 17 episodes in. I find it a little bit slow at the moment, to be honest, but Hunter x Hunter was the same, and then in the end it came out to be one of the best animes of all time. So it's going to be a little while before I do watch Inuyasha and can really speak for what's going on with these characters, but I saw this on Pop Figures. It was for a pretty decent price and I had some like money off, etc, etc, so I figured, you know what, let's grab it. Because I'll be perfectly honest with you guys, I haven't come across an anime yet that I didn't enjoy, especially ones that are kind of regarded with like higher scores on my anime list, IMDb, etc. And Inuyasha has a fairly high score, so I'm sure I will enjoy it, and other people have said you'll definitely enjoy it knowing my taste, so I'll get round to it eventually. And I just love collecting the anime Funko Pops. I feel they put a lot of effort into them. This one looks great. The flocking, I haven't said that word for a while, and it is a pretty weird word, does look pretty cool here on, is Karara the cat? I think it is, right? Because I think Shippo, there was like a Shippo on horse that was released earlier this year, if I remember, something along those lines anyway. So I think, and I'm pretty sure that was the like person, the humanoid down here, whose hair is also flocked. That's quite a cool thing, and the tail actually on the back. So yeah, it's a pretty cool looking Funko Pop. Yeah, just, I guess I really need to get around to watching Inuyasha and collecting more of them. Next up, guys, we're going to check out a whole bunch of Demon Slayer Funko Pops because I finally picked up the latest wave of figures. So first up here we have Sabito, Makomo, Genya Shinazugawa, Mr. Haganetsuka, Lady Tamiyo, the Tamari Demon Suzumaru, as well as the Arrow Demon Yahaba. And come to think of it, I think the long-haired Tundra was also supposed to be in this order from Pop Culture. I might need to go and check that because it's not here. So going in numerical order, first up we have Sabito, one of the first people to actually help out Tundra. Well, say people, he's like a ghost essentially, right? I know that's a bit of a spoiler, but I'm pretty sure if you guys are watching this, you surely would have watched Demon Slayer by now, right? Let me know in the comment section below, did any of you guys know Sabito and Makomo were actually ghosts? Like my brother said he figured it out pretty quickly. I don't think I realised till, did they like disappear or something like that? I think they do, right? And then I was like, oh, holy crap, I didn't even fathom that, but I thought it was a pretty cool moment. Pretty cool characters as well, for like the fact that they're only in like 1 or 2 episodes, I think, right? But yeah, pretty cool characters, and they actually got the Funko Pop treatment. And again, I think Funko, I always say it with their anime pops, they do a really good job. He's on one of these bases, I guess, just to give him a bit of stability, because he is in quite a dynamic pose, which I think is pretty cool. We've got the scar on the face. There are, of course, the mask versions of the 2 characters as well, from that 2-pack that was released for New York Comic Con. We do actually have that to show off as well, but we'll get through these commons first. And then we have Sabito's sister, Makomo. Actually, you know what? Were they sisters? Were they even siblings? I feel they were orphans, right? So I guess they're kind of like orphan siblings to an extent, but I don't believe they were blood relatives. I mean, their hair color is pretty different, so I guess that should be a giveaway. But again, yeah, Makomo, big help to Tundra in the beginning, you know, helping him through his initial training. She's got like the flower tiara, I'm sure there's a more correct term for that, there in the head. She's got the arms behind the back, looking pretty cute there in her kind of pink and purplish dress. Not really much else going on with this one, no kind of dynamic poses. Well, I suppose it's still somewhat of a pose, right? It's different. How many Funko Pops do we have where the character have their hands behind their back? I don't think there's too many. Off the top of my head, I can only think of Bertold from Attack on Titan. I'm sure there are a few others. But yeah, it's still pretty cool. And although Funko are definitely milking the Demon Slayer line, you know what? I'm probably still going to buy them, to be honest. Next up is Genya Shinozagawa, brother of Saname. Now, although this is definitely from season 1, I'm trying to think when it is. It's either after the final selection, or it's when Tanjiro runs into him during that rehabilitation arc. I think it may be after the final selection, because he's pretty dirty. He's got like those beady white eyes, because he's like pretty mad, pretty angry, right? He's got the scar on the face. It's a pretty cool looking pop, but at the same time, there's not really a dynamic pose to it like we did just sort of see with Sabito. You know, the sword is sheathed there on the side. He's just kind of really got his hands by his side and one resting on the sword, almost as if he's like ready to pull. You know, he's got the kind of mohawk, and the way the hair's done is pretty cool. Yeah, we didn't really see too much of Genya in that very first season. And he kind of came across as a bit of a dick, to be perfectly honest. But then obviously we saw him recently in the new season. We sort of learned more about his past, and certainly some of his unique abilities as well. So once Funko start making stuff from the Swordsmith Village arc, I imagine we can get some pretty cool looking Genya figures as opposed to this one, which, don't get me wrong, is still pretty cool. It's just a little bit basic, at least in terms of the pose. Next we have Haganetsuka, or as Tanjiro refers to him respectfully as Mr. Haganetsuka. I hope I'm pronouncing his name, by the way, right? I'm pretty sure that's how it was pronounced in the English dubbing, but my pronunciation at the best of times is pretty bad. I only speak English and bad English. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys know which movie that quote was from, but I think this may be my favourite one from the latest wave of figures, because the detail on it is really, really cool. I mean, we're at the back here right now where there's not so much detail. He's on one of these clear acrylic bases to give him stability for this pose. He's got his kimono on. He's got those wooden shoes that they call like geta or something like that. Again, maybe my pronunciation there is pretty poor. He's got like the wrapping around the head, as well as one of these masks. I'm not going to lie, I had to look this up. Hyotoko mask, I think that's what they're called, obviously to conceal the identity. We do eventually see his face in the Swordsmith Village arc. Again, maybe I gave away a spoiler there, apologies if so, but it's on the mask where the detail is great, the like puffed out cheeks, the like really exaggerated extended lips. We've even got a nose. You don't really see noses on Funko Pops very much, do you? Well, you see like a little kind of triangle bit, but not like a more sort of humanoid accurate kind of nose is what I'm saying, right? He's got the dagger out as well. I'm pretty sure this is the scene when he's like chasing after Tanjiro, and I think he's like, "Hey, Mr. Haganetsuka, how's it going?" And he's like, "You destroyed your sword." I can't remember the exact lines. It was from season 1, which I haven't seen for quite a while now. But yeah, it was really good, really funny moment. He's obviously this massively kind of exaggerated character who really has a passion for making swords, right, as you learn a bit more in that Swordsmith Village arc. But yeah, really cool one, really love it, and happy to add it to the Demon Slayer collection. Likewise, I'm really happy we do have a Lady Tamiyo into the collection, but I feel Funko could have done a bit better of a job on this one. So if I'm not mistaken, this is during the battle with Susumaru, and she like scratches herself for the magical aroma of daylight ability, but I feel they could have actually done the scent of illusory blood visual dream ability that she has when she kind of first comes across Tanjiro, and they could have put some of like the flowers that essentially get made. They're illusory flowers, right? You know, she could have actually been like a Funko Shop exclusive, because we did actually get Yushiro, her ward, well, whatever his exact title is to her, who was like plain as day, yet he was a Funko Shop exclusive. I would have rather him have been a common, and then her with some of those flowers. You know, kind of how they made the like Shinobu Pop, which I think it was one of the best Funko Pops of the year, by the way. They could have made it really pretty, really good like that, with some of those flowers. But you know what? It's still pretty decent nonetheless. We've still got at least some of those blood effects there on the hand. But of course, with that like magical aroma of daylight, there is like some like a smoke or some aroma, I guess, right, coming out of the arm. So maybe they could have done something there a little bit better, but with the size of the Funko head, maybe that's a little bit difficult. I kind of get it. So it's still decent, just could have been better in my opinion. And speaking of Susumaru, she is next, the Tamari Demon. Now, I have shown this one off on the channel before because I did buy it when these first came out, hoping that I may get the chase. I wasn't lucky enough, but to be perfectly honest, the chase is just literally glow in the dark, so I'm not too bothered to get it. I don't believe there's any differences, even though there is it a Funko Shop exclusive? I think it might be off the top of my head. There is another Tamari Demon, another Susumaru, pardon me, Funko Pop coming out where she has the forearms with the Tamari balls or whatever they're called. Yeah. Why was that not the chase? That would have been the perfect opportunity for a chase, rather than just simply making this common version glow. sometimes Funko make weird decisions, or as I said before, they're definitely milking the Demon Slayer line. This is still a cool pop, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's just a bit annoying when Funko do that. And the last one in this set, guys, is Yahaba, which I have also shown off on the channel before, at least the glow-in-the-dark PX Previews exclusive one, which did have a pretty cool glow, by the way. The kimono glowed, the little eyeball in his palm also glowed, and it was pretty cool. There was like some different colours on there, so I think Funko did a pretty good job on that one. But yeah, the common, like, is exactly the same pop. It just doesn't glow. It's pretty decent, but I remember when these were first announced, like the concepts came out, he had like arrows around him, and you kind of like I think he was going to have a chase, and that was what it was going to be. Like Susumaru wasn't going to have a chase, and then for whatever reason they made those changes. If I can find a picture of the one with the arrows flying around, I'll pop it up there for you guys, because I think that one looked pretty cool. But the fact that we're now going to get that exclusive Susumaru, I wouldn't be surprised if we do eventually get Yahaba with the arrows as well. I should also say, I picked these all up from Pop Culture during that 30% off all in-stock Funko items they had. So I actually got these for a really good price because they were already discounted, and then I got a further 30% off. So yes, I had shipping, but I bought them with other things to pay as well. So if you add them all up, all in all, I feel I paid around £5 per pop for these, which I think is a pretty darn good deal. And I mentioned this one earlier, guys, I did pick up the Makamo and Sabito 2-pack that was released during New York Comic Con. Obviously, I only have the shared stickered exclusive. I also got this from Pop Culture during that sale. Not only had they already discounted this one as well, I got that further 30% discount, and I think I paid around £15 or £16 for it in the end, when it's still like around 35 here in the UK. And I mean, you guys can see for yourselves, the only difference in these pops are the fox warding masks. Like Sabito has the exact same pose, as does Makamo. I mean, she doesn't have like the flowers in the hair, she just has the mask on the side. So yeah, there's not really much difference here from Funko, just a little bit of changes with the accessories or the face. So are they milking the Demon Slayer line? Absolutely, but you know what? It's still a pretty cool 2-pack. The fact that I got it for such a good deal does make me happy, and you know what? I would absolutely love to get this 2-pack signed one day, rather than getting those individual ones signed. I think it will be very cool to add into the collection. And believe it or not, guys, but we've still got one more Demon Slayer Funko Pop to check out, because I did pick up the deluxe moment of Nezuko in web that does glow in the dark. And once again, this was purchased from Pop Culture in Australia. Now, I don't think it was initially discounted like some of the others, but I still obviously got that 30% discount off it, meaning I did pay less than what I could have got it for here in the UK. And although it's been out for a little while now, I don't believe I've seen it discounted on any UK stores, so pretty happy to finally get it and add it to the collection, because it looks so freaking sweet here in the webs. I mean, it's also her kind of doing the, or like a blood demon art, was it like combustible or exploding blood? Maybe like a combination of both, like she ignites it first and then it blows up essentially, right? But that's how she kind of frees herself and essentially rescues Tanjiro during that battle with Rui. It's just such a cool looking part. I mean, it's called Deluxe, but to me it's essentially a moment, right? And speaking of that battle, you know what I wanted to do is pop her in behind the Tanjiro versus Rui moment. Now, if you're looking at it from like a downwards perspective, it does look pretty cool, but if you're looking at it like an eye level view, you don't really see her too much. I mean, she's in there behind the flames. It kind of looks somewhat cool, but you obviously need to like elevate her a little bit to see it. I suppose it's not really to, well, obviously Funko Pops are not to scale, right? And they're always like accentuated with bigger heads. And I appreciate Funko couldn't have made this one like taller. It probably would have like cost too much, or at least I say cost too much, they would have charged a bit too much for it, right? With bigger packaging, just having taller trees, etc, etc. So I kind of get the design behind it, but if you have it like elevated above, it does look pretty cool. You can kind of, like Tundra and Rui, somewhat hide the like grass and whatnot, so you don't, you know, like the base of Nezuko's pop. So I think that does look pretty cool, and that's probably how I would display these, to be honest. But even, you know, if you have it slightly lower on a shelf, as I said, from that downward view, it still does look pretty cool. And I almost forgot this glows. I'll be completely honest with you guys, I forgot to do this last night when it was completely dark. But let's see, boom, you know what? Still comes out pretty darn cool. Sort of the pinks and the reds. Yeah, I do like that one a lot. I think Funko did a pretty good job on it. Next, we're going to check out some Naruto, and I picked up a couple of figures in the latest wave, including the Akatsuki Orochimaru. We've actually got a whole bunch more Naruto Funko Pops due in Q1 of next year. Cannot wait for those. I did actually take a quick look at those, as well as giving my top 10 most wanted Naruto Funko Pops in yesterday's video. There's a link to it if you guys did want to check this out. This is from the latest wave release, what, like a month or two ago, I think now? Was it longer? I can't entirely remember, but we've got a few more Akatsuki members. The rest of them are coming in that next wave. And this is Orochimaru, I guess, when he was a member of the Akatsuki, right? I don't know if there's a significant difference to the other like the OG Orochimaru Funko Pop. I should have really checked it, but it is buried in behind some of the other Naruto ones behind me. But yeah, in the Akatsuki robes, a snake coming out the sleeve. What more can you say? The devious Orochimaru, right? Pretty cool one. They did release an exclusive of this as well, pardon me, which was metallic. And to be honest, like, I always go through these weird phases. I don't know if you guys too, where I'm like, you know what, I have to 100% complete the collection. Then I'm like, no, what? It's just metallic or it's just glow. Do I really care for it? I'm spending money for nothing. I kind of chop and change, but I think I am now leaning more towards not caring to like fully complete a collection as much, because I definitely didn't start out that way. I also grabbed Deidara from the latest wave. I do still need to pick up Kisame and Zetsu as well. And I have to say, I really like this Deidara Funko Pop. I've actually never laid eyes on it in person before, and I don't think I've watched anyone's reviews of it either. It's really, really cool. We've got some clay birds, the tongues coming out of the palms, the rings, the painted fingernails, the blue eye. It just looks really, really cool. It is on one of these clear acrylic bases. Once again, let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think when Funko does this? They put the like acrylic bases and they have it essentially go into the back to kind of offer stability, I guess more for dynamic poses, heavy heads, etc, etc. You know, I personally don't mind it, because like one thing I hate is when you take a Funko Pop out of the box, it doesn't have a stand and he doesn't stand, like, or she doesn't stand, it doesn't stand, right? It falls over. It's so annoying, especially when they are like really cool display pieces that you want to display out the box. That just annoys the hell out of me. And then of course sometimes you do also get the like bases which have a stud and you pop it into the foot, and sometimes it just doesn't fit very well either. I actually think the Susumaru one that I showed off a few moments ago, that doesn't fit very well into her foot, so that's also pretty annoying. So I don't mind this per se, as long as there's not like a lot going on at the back of a character, which for the most part Funko Pops, there's not a lot going on in the back unless it's a character who has a specific thing at the back, right? Jetpack Boba Fett, for instance. But yeah, for the most part, I don't mind it. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. But yeah, really happy to get this one into the collection. I always like Deidara. I like my villains to kind of be brash and cocky, and he was all that and more. Played like a pretty big role, pardon me, in Naruto. So yeah, happy to really finally get a Deidara into the Naruto collection. And I've also managed to add a couple of new Naruto chases into the collection, guys. First up here we have Neji. Yes, it is the special edition sticker, but if I was going to get one signed, it would have been the common anyway. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, this is a pretty lazy chase, right? The only difference to the common is Neji doesn't have his headband, so you do see the curse mark in behind, which it's fairly decent. As I said, it's pretty lazy. There's not much difference. No difference in the pose. I still think Funko missed a little bit of a beat with Neji. I really think they could have given him this kind of like extended base, so we have like the 8 trigram 64 palms, you know, like all the green and whatnot that comes like underneath him when he does the powers. I think that could have looked really cool. They kind of did something similar to the Edward Elric Funko Pop, like the base that he had from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and it had some of the like oh, I'm forgetting the term now that they use, like all the arcane magic. You guys know what I mean. There's a picture of it. I can't really remember the terms off the top of my head, but yeah, as I said, fairly lazy chase, but it's cool to see the curse mark. It kind of played a big part of Neji's life, essentially, right? So yeah, happy to at least have it in the collection, but kind of wish I paid retail for it rather than a little bit more. I got it from popfigures.com. I still had some money off, so it was a pretty decent deal. But yeah, when it's something like this, which kind of reminds me of the Guillaume chase, where the only difference is he has tears from Demon Slayer, you're gonna like, yeah, I kind of wish I got that for retail. One that I don't mind I paid retail for, because I really, really wanted this one into my collection, is the AAA anime exclusive Chase glow-in-the-dark Naruto Kurama Link mode. And this thing is absolutely friggin' sick, guys. I love it. look at the color scheme on it, the way it goes from dark orange to light orange, dark yellow to light yellow, the orange eyes, the headband, the whiskers, if that's what they are, like chakra markings throughout. Oh, it just looks so freaking cool. Again, he's on one of these bases, but I don't mind this. He's like leaping through the air with the Rasengan. That Rasengan better glow, by the way. Otherwise, that's going to be a little bit disappointing. But otherwise, yeah, this thing looks cool. One of my favorite Funko Pops, I think, of the year, to be honest. And just the texture to it as well. You can feel there's a lot of glow paint on it. Like, I've not seen anyone's glam shots of it, or I keep saying that, glam shots, like anyone's photos of it. Of course, I've seen glam shots. It's hard not to see them. But yeah, I can't wait to see the glow on this. It feels like it's going to be full-bodied, as I said, with the texture and everything. It just looks so cool. So happy to finally get into the collection. I just wish the Minato one that they made, which was a Funko Shop exclusive, that they also made that glow, or at least gave it a glow chase as well. But, you know, speaking of the glow, guys, let's waste no time and check it out. All right, here we go then, guys. 3, 2, 1, boom. Yes, yes. And yes, this is the exact reason I wanted to get the Chase version. I just knew Funko were going to do a good job. They really did not let us down on this one. Check it out, guys. The yellow, the orange, even the Rasengan there, glowing a nice blue. Yeah, this, you know, I feel Funko have done some really, really good glows this year. This one may just take the cake, to be honest. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and it does actually glow all the way around as well. If I just get some extra light there on the back for you guys. Yeah, it's just so beautiful. It just looks like it gets even more vibrant, you know, after like a few seconds of turning the torch off. It's just amazing. Wow, yeah, I'm almost lost for words, to be honest. I think that is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, don't know what else to say. Guys, let me know in the comment section below. What do you think of this glow? And we've got one final pop to check out, guys. Also from Naruto, or I guess technically from Boruto, if you did want to be exact. We have the Kakashi Hatake as part of the Hokage series rock sculptures. And now if you've watched the channel before, you guys will know how much I absolutely love this set. I think Funko have done an amazing job. It was such a great idea. And I have to say, this Kakashi one may be my favorite. Obviously, I still need to get Naruto in. I think he has just released, at least in Australia and some other parts. I don't know if they have released in the US. I feel the release schedule for all of these have been a bit weird. Like, I was getting some of these in the beginning so much faster than the US, because I bought all of these from Pop Culture actually, but then Kakashi actually released on Funko Europe, like without any warning, and it sold out very quickly, and I was like, I could have just bought that from there, because like anything that's bigger or deluxe on Pop Culture, I tend to find is a little bit more expensive than I can get it for here in the UK, and then when you have to add on shipping, it kind of doesn't make sense, right? But again, this was in that 30% sale, so I did get it for a pretty good price. Probably cheaper than I would have paid for it on Funko Europe anyway, so okay, I'm getting it a little bit later than usual, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's so freaking cool. The hat by the side, it's funny because like the hat in no way like would fit on that head, right? It's I get it, Funko, it's their like stylized idea with the bigger heads, but it's funny to see this tiny hat. You're like, how would that fit on that head, right? Reading one of Jiraiya's naughty novels, just sitting on a rock. I mean, I guess technically this was the first one of Kakashi sitting, but we have of course since had that one with Parkoon, which is also a really cool pop. Yeah, I just think this set, as I said, looks really cool. We've got the rock sculpture there in the background. I can't wait to get Naruto so I can put all 7 together. I just, as I said, think it was like such a good idea by Funko, and they continue, in my opinion, to kill it with their Anime Funko Pops. And well, there we go, guys. That is all my Anime Funko Pop parcels caught up with, and that is therefore going to do it for today's video. So first and foremost, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with me here on the Geek Lounge. It is very much appreciated, and I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If so, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Drop some comments below, let me know what Anime Funko Pops you guys have picked up recently. And as always, we've got plenty more content on the way for you guys. The usual Funko, Lego, statues, figures, and TCGs all incoming. As I said earlier, tomorrow's video is part 2 of me catching up with my Funko Pop parcels. We've got some Star Wars, Avatar The Last Airbender, D&D, a couple other things I'm not really remembering off the top of my head. All that coming in tomorrow's video. Make sure you stay tuned for that and more. What is the easiest way to stay tuned, you ask? It's very simple. Subscribe, hit click, smash that subscribe button, and enable those notifications so you don't miss out on any of that future content. Guys, thanks again for watching today's video, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out, nerds!